we've got your Raiders covered.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
It's Silver and Black Today on CBS Sports Radio 1140. And now, here's your host, Scott Gulbransen.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140 on July 5th, 2020. That's right, the day after Independence Day. We hope you enjoyed your 4th of July and that you spent time with family and friends, got some time to relax, reflect on what a great country we have, flaws and all. But we are back with a best of. That's right, we are actually off today, so we're back with a best of show for you today, including interviews with running back Jalen Richard, Devontae Booker, cornerback Nevin Lawson, and the great second-year player. I mean, I call him great, and he's only his second year, but you just got to love this guy, and that is, of course, Mad Maxx Crosby. So we're going to bring you those interviews, and we'll be back live next week to 2 hours. That's right, summer hours are over. 2 hours next week. We'll be back. Nick Kwiatkoski will join us, the linebacker signed by the Raiders in the offseason, as well as some other guests that you definitely want to be with us for, including Tashan Reed, the Raiders' new beat writer for the Athletic Las Vegas, and a couple other guests, which we will tell you this coming week, so make sure you stay tuned. Check out the website, silverandblacktoday.com, which started it all 24/7. Raiders independent news from Las Vegas, the capital of Raider Nation, the only independent Raiders news source in Las Vegas, so check that out. Also, follow us on Twitter, silverblack2day, and check out the Facebook page, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube, where when we're live, we do live shows. We simulcast them, so you can watch us on video and join in the conversation there as well. We will be back on video next week. So, for your listening pleasure, here's the best of the Silver and Black Today, starting off with Raiders running back Jalen Richard. All right, let's turn it over to Jalen. And Jalen, I want to thank you for joining us here. And listen, the first thing I wanted to ask you is about longevity. Listen, you have been through 2 separate front offices, 2 coaching staffs, but you've always been there. And the Raiders, of course, this year, they give you that 2-year contract, some nice guaranteed money for you and your family. What has it been about your ability to kind of persevere through a lot of these changes as being part of this Raiders team?
Instead of the changes happening around me, I just mainly focused on the changes that I could create for myself with my game. I really just focused on every year, like a big part of my game is just self-evaluation. Like after every year, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Where can I improve in my game? Where did I see my game maybe take a step back or just self-reevaluate every year. And every year I feel like I've gotten better in my game. I've gotten smarter. I've really, molded myself into the role that I play, which is third down right now for the Raiders. Where you see where I get the most of my action. I think I molded myself into a great third down back in this league. So, it was just all about playing football. I understood what I could control, and that's my game. I can't control the staff around me, and we have other people that hire those guys. All I have to worry about is just playing ball, and everything else is gonna be taken care of. So that's what I focus on.
Now, Jalen, you are one of the few that has survived and remained on the roster from the Coach Del Rio and Reggie McKenzie era. And there's plenty of reasons why you have found your way with Coach Gruden and his offense, but clearly you possess 2 traits that Gruden looks for in his backs. One is the ability to catch the ball as a receiver out of the backfield, and the other one is to pass protect. We've seen you time and time again willing to stick your nose in there and pick up a blitzing linebacker. Explain to us what your mentality is and what you think it takes to be successful as a running back in pass protection.
It's all I want to. You just got to want to block. Honestly, some dudes be scared or scary. It's dog-eat-dog world out there, man. It's man versus man. That's what it comes down to. Just a want to do it. Because I ain't the biggest guy. A lot of the guys I be blocking be bigger than me. But I want to block them. And, again, that self-evaluation. I've been taught from great coaches, the different coaches that I've had. You talk about those different coaching staff that I've been with. And I've been blessed to have great RB coaches every year. And taking little bits and pieces of their techniques and making it my own technique. And, again, just perfecting my craft. and being very competitive and going out there and wanting to do whatever it is I'm asked to do to help the team win, whether that's the ball in my hand or not. So that's what I say. It just comes down to a want to in the NFL, a pass pro.
Again, we are joined by Raiders running back Jalen Richard. Now, Jalen, you came into the league as an undrafted free agent and, just hoping to make the roster. And now you just signed that 2-year deal. We just talked about it. And you're entering your 5th year with the team. How has your approach to the game changed versus since your rookie year?
It's changed a little bit, but I would say it's pretty much the same. I get my work in. I believe in whatever you put in, you get out. So I'm definitely always working, but the work has changed a little bit. I incorporate a little bit more Pilates now, a lot more stretching. Obviously, I'm young. I'm 26, but in football years, I'm going on year 5. You have those little nicks and bruises. I've been blessed to be, pretty much injury free during season. The last 4 years of my career, so. I just take heed to the little things, the stretching, keeping a nice, my formula, making sure I get a massage, making sure I do my acupuncture, make sure I see my PT, make sure I, do all these different things that my body's in peak condition and ready to go when it's time. So I think that's about the only thing that's changed because I had to learn that. I didn't come in the league knowing all these things. I wasn't introduced to no acupuncture. I didn't do regular PT, even when you're not really injured, but you still go see the PT and work on just functional movements or just any little thing you have going on. So I've grown in that area of my life and in my career these last 4 years. So I would say that's the only thing that's changed. Now I'm just more aware of all those things and I'm using them to my benefit.
Yeah, Jalen, it's interesting. You mentioned only 26 going into year number 5, right? So you talk about football years versus years on earth, but you're going to be one of the old men in the running back room, right? So at 26, which is amazing. As a guy who just turned 50, I wish I was 26 again. But listen, here's the deal. You're going in that room, not only the running back room, but overall on offense. You have Derek there, of course. You have a couple guys coming back for year 2, and then, of course, you got the big uglies up front, that great offensive line. But overall, there's a lot of new pieces on offense for you. So I know for you, being the leader that you are and being the guy that's been around for a while, how's that role going to be for you? You got to kind of step up now and talk to those guys and get those young bucks in line, the Henry Ruggs and all these receivers and the new running backs and all this stuff. All these guys that come in, you now have to take on that leadership role. Are you ready for that one?
I always been like, I handle stuff in a way. I've been trying to open up a little bit more, talk more, but if guys want to come ask me and need something from me, I'm down to do that. I'm down to do whatever the team needs. I definitely lead by example, and I'll definitely talk with guys that need to be talked with and getting guys ready. But those Henry Ruggs and guys like that, man, those guys already gonna come in ready. I already know they're gonna come in ready. It's other things that other factors that might play in as a rookie that's not even football related. Football wasn't a problem or an issue for me. My rookie year, it was other things off the field. So I'll be able to give them guidance and some advice if they, were to open up to me when it comes to that. But talk about those guys again, like the Henry Ruggs, the guys coming from Alabama, structure, These guys want to come in and perform and just be ready. So, football is going to be the least of their worries. It's just everything else. And I hope and pray everybody be blessed with anything they got going on off the field.
Well, what about those guys, Jalen? I mean, you look at what you're able to do because you're able to do so many different things so well. Like you said, wherever your team needs you, you're there, including catching the ball, as Evan mentioned earlier, out of the backfield. Now with all of those weapons, the ability for Coach Gruden and Derek Carr to stretch the field out more is going to mean more opportunity for you in the passing game as well. How excited are you about what happened this offseason with this team on offense?
I'm very excited because to me it looks like another year where we see, like last year, that our rookies come in and just make leaps and make bounds. And then I'm excited for this year because I'm excited to see the rookies from last year make that second year leap and that second year bound. Because, you know, again, it's always self-improvement. That's how you last in this league. That's how, if you really just love football, that's how you play. I mean, you know, we go out there to compete. I don't want to lose. If I lost one year because of something I did, I'm going to fix it and figure it out next year. So that next year can come out of that rep because it's exactly that. Like, guys gonna make those leaps and those bounds, and I'm just excited that we get to go. And I got some like new stuff. Might have a new jacuzzi, you know what I mean? Like, well, I'm talking about the facilities and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
On my personal, just little being greedy, but you know, at high school I ain't never really had the greatest facilities. Southern Miss, I didn't really have the greatest facilities. Raiders, we got a good weight room, but then I'm hearing from everybody else coming from other teams that, you know, the Raiders is towards the bottom of the league when it comes to facilities and stuff. And I'm tired of playing on that dirt. So I'm excited just to be in Vegas with some new stuff and just have fun.
Jalen, we talked about all the moves that were made in free agency. You did lose one of your running mates in the backfield from a year ago to free agency, DeAndre Washington. It looks like right now you could be in for a bit of an expanded role. I know that Lynn Bowden Jr. was brought in and Devontae Booker, of course, but what's your take on that expanded role? Are you ready for a larger piece of the pie?
Yeah, I'm ready for whatever, you know, gets thrown my way. I'm going to come in there and compete, and I'm going to be ready to play, and they're going to get a better Jalen Richard, you know, a better spook, you know, what everybody call him, or Rocket Rich or whatever. I'm coming in better prepared, and I'm going to be ready to play, and I'm excited for the opportunity that we're going to have because of all the weapons and obviously the coaching staff that we have. They're going to let us play. They're going to let us compete. They not scared. We not scared. And we're going to line up, and we just want to step on people's throats, you know, so I'm just excited for that. I'm excited. I don't like to just guess what's going to happen, but I'm just excited for the year.
That's awesome. And Jalen, I know, you mentioned, we read your story in The Athletic that Vic Tafer did, where you shared with everybody kind of your off the field issues as a young guy coming out of the college ranks in the NFL, and that, money was tough at first. And that's not unusual, not only for football players, but for a lot of young people who come out who haven't had experience managing their money and knowing what to do with it. You've gotten on top of that now. You even have your own business. You have a marketing business. You got a certificate from Harvard Business School. Tell us a little bit about your interests off the field with that and what you're going to be doing in the marketing world.
Well, yeah. First of all, coming in, didn't even know too much about money. Ended up going broke like probably a month before I had to go back to work on my second year, a month before the season started. So I had to borrow about like a month's worth of money from my agent. So that was tough for me, but also a blessing because like what I realized through that is that okay, some guys don't get that feeling that I felt my rookie year until they too far in. You know, some guys do what I did my rookie year. So I kind of felt blessed that it happened then, so that I had the time to bounce back from it. Now, I've just been trying to continue my knowledge on finances, on the stock market, on just money, managing money, things that help your money grow, to keep your money. This opportunity I had with the marketing company was me and my manager, just thinking about different ways to market different guys and understanding that there's a market for top tier, Pro Bowl caliber guys, and then there's a market for guys that might not be in the camera as much, but are NFL guys, and companies and people want to be established with them. So we got together and formed Privé, and now we just, reaching out to guys to help them with their marketing and put money in their pockets and build relationships with these companies that have, a lifetime, not just something small and short term. So I'm excited for that too. And again, just continuing to like just build up on that knowledge and just learn more. And hopefully I'll be able to. One of my goals is to like get all the way into the actual master's program at Harvard and end up getting my master's from Harvard. So that's the next step. So.
Well, Jalen, it's great to hear that you're doing not only great things on the field, but you're doing a lot of great things off the field as well. And, Scott and I, we thank you for giving us some of your time. We know you're a busy guy with those 2 baby girls at home, so we don't want to keep you any longer. But we wish you the best of luck in the upcoming season. And hopefully when you get out here to Vegas, we can get you on the radio show live.
The only way to take Silver and Black Today with you is with a radio.com app. Download it today and search CBS Sports Radio 1140 in Las Vegas and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
No, you're not in a time warp. You're listening to the best of the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. Welcome back to the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. And we go out on the phone and we bring in a very special guest, one of the newest Las Vegas Raiders, and that is running back Devontae Booker. Devontae joins the Raiders after spending his early part of his career after being a 4th-round draft pick from Utah with the Denver Broncos. And Devontae, hey, welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to the Silver and Black, which I know you're familiar with the Silver and Black.
Yeah, definitely. This was, pretty much my hometown team growing up. It was kind of a favorite team of mine growing up as well. I kind of had stints with like all the California teams while I was growing up, but it was just something about the Silver and Black that I, used to like while watching it growing up.
Yeah, and we've all read the story about the Charles Woodson jersey that you wore out, and it says on the roster that you've chosen number 46, which of course is the late great Todd Christensen's number. Of course he was a tight end, but another great Raider. So I know everyone's happy to have you in the fold and add depth and really some great character in that backfield. Now, Devontae, when you look at the Raiders and you look at what happened in Denver, you didn't get as much touches. I know you're on the record saying, hey, you wanted more opportunity there. It looks like in Las Vegas you're going to have the opportunity to do that. What was it about coming to play for the Raiders, coming to play for John Gruden that brought you here?
I think it was just the organization and with Coach Gruden and the staff. I can just recognize real with the staff and just everybody and it just seems like a good environment to come in and and play ball. They all moving, everyone moving out to Vegas, and it's going to be good exposure for the team. And really, I just like you said earlier, it was just a good opportunity for me, and I think I can fit in and help win some games there as well.
You spoke about the opportunity and that you feel like you could fit in and do what you got to do there, but has the coaching staff talked to you yet about the role that they feel like you're going to play, you and Josh Jacobs together?
Not too much, because it's kind of hard right now with, the whole coronavirus and stuff. Yeah. And they can't really evaluate, how they want to, but, I'm ready. Like I've been telling everybody, I've been excited, and I never felt this excited since the day I got drafted. But now it's like just got to go out there and put in the work and gain trust from the coaching staff, and and go out there and put it all on the field.
No, that's okay.
How do you think that they could use you best? How do you think that you and Josh Jacobs could complement each other?
Honestly, it's kind of whatever I can get. Of course, I'm going to go out there and work my butt off to earn all the reps that I can get. But I could be used just the same way as him. I believe. I believe I can be used just the same way as Josh Jacobs. Being running between the tackle outside and even playing a big part in the passing game.
Again, we're speaking to Devontae Booker, the new Raiders running back, formerly of the Denver Broncos. And Devontae, when you look at the situation for you, as Q just mentioned, a competitive environment, that's what Coach Gruden has really done as he came in 3 years ago now to take over this team, was create competition. Because I think for most of you guys, professional athletes, you want the competition because you not only want to earn where you're at, but it makes everybody better. You look at your backfield. We talked about Josh Jacobs. You add in the fullbacks like Alec Ingold and, of course, Jalen Richard. It's a good set of folks. And then you're running. I mean, talk to me about the offensive line that you have the opportunity to run behind. I mean, that's one of the biggest in the NFL, one of the most talented in the NFL. Talk about them and how that played a little part in you coming here.
Yeah, they massive. They massive up front. Like you said, it's one of the biggest lines in football right now. And shoot, I kind of never really had that in Denver. So it's kind of different, but shoot, I'm excited to get to run behind some big guys that like to block, and you have one of those great days, on Sundays, then you can feed them big dudes whatever they want.
How does it feel to stay in the AFC West? You were with the Denver Broncos, now you're going to the Raiders, and that obviously that's a rivalry, and it's 2020. Rivalries don't really mean as much as they used to in the NFL, but just knowing you're staying in the AFC West, what does that mean to you?
It still kind of mean a lot. It's a good division, all of us gotta, each time we play a team in the division, even when I was in Denver, it's a battle. We got to go out there and, when we play the Chiefs or, the Chargers, whoever. And, we know that each time we play them, it's going to be a battle and it's going to be tough. So, we still, like I said, we're in a tough division still, but we just got to go out there and grind and get wins in the division.
And Devontae, when you look at the Raiders and what they've been able to do this offseason, you look at on the defensive side of the ball, of course, the additions in the draft and in free agency with guys like Corey Littleton. And then on offense, you're coming in with a veteran quarterback, too, in charge of things with Derek Carr back there. Now you have more weapons on the outside. Do you feel like this team, from what you've seen so far as looking at the situation before you signed with the Raiders, do you look at this offense and say to yourself, wow, there's going to be not only opportunity for me as a running back, but opportunity to really explode and do a lot of things that people might not or people might be sleeping on this team?
Yeah, definitely, and it's not a bad thing that fans or just whoever sleeping on us, because that's what we're here for. We're gonna work and grind when nobody's watching, and then when we come out there, they'll be looking at a whole different team that they probably seen in previous years. But like I said, I'm excited to be with this team, and I'm just ready to get to working with these guys, and learning the offense and playbook and stuff, so I can go out there and be effective as well.
And I know you said how excited you are and pumped up to be a member of the team and have the opportunity, but what about the opportunity to open up Allegiant Stadium and play in a brand new place that's never been played on? I mean, when you hit the field, you're going to be one of the first dudes to ever hit the field there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, just thinking about it. It's my first time ever, being on someone open up a whole, new stadium and everything like that. So, like you said, it's gonna be exciting to play in that nice dome that we got. I just see pictures and stuff from the internet, and I'm like, man, I want to see what's inside. I actually drove by it before. I think it's probably like a year or so ago. I think I was down in Vegas like a year ago, like Memorial Weekend around this time of the year, and just driving past the stadium, all I could just see is just like a big black bubble, and I'm like, man, I know they're inside, it's gonna be like nice, so I just can't wait to see inside of it and everything, and get ready to play on there.
Yeah, and Devontae, I know too. Wait till you see, and again, because of the coronavirus stuff, like you said, you haven't had a chance to probably come visit yet. But the team headquarters as well, and the training facilities, and I know they had some nice stuff up in Denver, but the stuff that they're building here in Las Vegas is pretty remarkable. And by the way, you're not a stranger to Las Vegas, right? You played in the Las Vegas Bowl. Would you play BYU? Is that right?
Yeah, actually, that was my last year when I was at Utah. We played them, but I didn't play because I tore my meniscus. But the year before, right. We played Colorado State in the Vegas Bowl too. So yeah, I'm no stranger to Vegas at all.
Yeah, luckily you don't have to play in that stadium again. I'm a UNLV guy.
I know, right?
I'm a UNLV guy, and I when I worked in athletics there, I had to work at that place, and thank goodness they actually have to play 2 games there this year because of all this stuff and some scheduling conflicts with Allegiant. But anyway, it's nice always to see West Coast guys stay on the West Coast. We appreciate you, man. And for Raider fans who might not be as familiar with you because they hate the Broncos so much, and they probably hated you without even knowing you. Tell them a little bit to what to expect with Devontae Booker when he gets out there behind that big O-line and runs the ball.
Really, I'm just a guy that just fight for every yard. I don't go down easy. I don't try to go down easy. I'm looking to fight for every yard, and just fall forward on every run, and I believe I can do it all out there on the field between running, passing, between running, catching, and blocking. So, I'm just waiting to where I can, get the opportunity to where I could really go out there and shine.
All right. Now, has Coach Gruden asked you to knock on wood with him yet?
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Has Coach Gruden asked you to knock on wood with him yet?
Oh, not yet.
I love it. You're going to love playing for him. I know that intensity. The players love it so much. Listen, Devontae Booker, I appreciate you spending some time with Q and I today. You have a great time. We'll see you out here when you guys start working out.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, you take care now. Devontae Booker, a new running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. And Q, he's got a great shot. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does when he gets in the fold.
Yeah, me too. Because, again, we've been talking about it for quite a while that the Raiders need to find a nice complement to Josh Jacobs. And if these two guys, who in my opinion are very similar, can complement each other, that's gravy. Josh Jacobs was a stud his rookie year. But if he can have a guy that could be a similar threat when Josh Jacobs is out of the game and just still be just as, as dangerous, either by catching the ball, running the ball between the tackles, either way, if they can complement each other, that's a win for the Raiders. So I'm excited about the opportunity that Devontae has. He's going to have to get out there in training camp and make it happen. But as long as he's healthy, I feel like he has a good shot.
Absolutely. Well said, Q. All right, we're going to step aside when we come back. Q, Chaz, and I will close out the show. You're listening to the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Hey, this is Rodney Hudson. You're listening to Silver and Black today.
Welcome back to Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. We go out on the Newsmaker line and are joined now by veteran Raiders cornerback Nevin Lawson, who enters his second season in the Silver and Black after 5 seasons with the Detroit Lions, who drafted him out of Utah State. Nevin, welcome to the show. And I got to tell you, man, I was going to talk football with you first, but I'm going to switch it around. I want to talk about charity. You've been doing some amazing work down in Florida during all this when the country's needed so much and our communities have needed so much help, whether it's the issues we've had with unrest in the country. Talk a little bit about the Nevin Lawson Foundation, first of all, and what you guys are doing down there in Broward County.
Hey, man. How you guys doing, man? My foundation is Nevin Lawson Foundation, and what it is just the main thing is for us to build a relationship with government agencies, and also indulge in helping the at-risk youth. And we've been doing a lot of work for a while now. Sometimes we go outside of the foundation work, like I built the school in Jamaica last year. But so far, we wanted to help the healthcare workers during the COVID-19, so we provided them lunch from Chick-fil-A, and actually that was me and my teammate Trayvon Mullen that teamed up and did that. We provided meals as well for during the pandemic as well, for the firefighters that's down here in Broward County. And we've been doing a lot of different works as far as for the youth. It's a government sponsored program that's called Urban League that's helping the at-risk youth down here in South Florida. So what it does is, they fund and build programs for them, which is an awesome program where they help them, where they could go after school and they could do different programs as far as entrepreneurship, coding. If you want to learn about real estate, if you need to learn how to prep for taking a test to get into certain colleges or whatever it is. So, we did things like that as far as helping those kids, give them a certain gift card for their graduation, speaking to them, just continue to encourage them and let them understand that education is very powerful for them to continue in their life. And I feel like that's very important for me because that helps them to be informed. And the only way you could really be informed in this world is by learning and by educating yourself. So that's a big thing for me, man. And we're just going to continue to do the best that we can to help people that's in need because it's bigger than that. So we're going to continue to grind and do my part.
Well, and Nevin, that's amazing, man, because, through all the discussions we're having right now in this country around all kinds of issues, that's what it takes. It takes young men like you to step up and do things throughout his community in so many different ways. And I commend you for that. And it's amazing to from the COVID stuff to what you're doing in the community with youth. It's huge because you know what? All the things that happen in life, the negative things, I think can be caught early if we teach our kids well, if we get them on the right path, give them a step up when we can, especially for those of us who've done well in life and have the opportunity to do so. We got to do it. So thank you for doing that, man. That's amazing work, and we commend you for doing that. And it's the Raider way too, by the way. Raiders organization has been doing that for a long time. All right, buddy, let's now switch to football. Last year, no question, the defense struggled towards the end of the season, injuries, all kinds of things. Mike Mayock, Coach Gruden went out. They got you help. They built up the front. They built up the middle of the defense, got you some help in the back. What's your feeling on this defensive unit? I know it's tough with no in-person workouts and things like that, but what's your feeling about this unit as you get really ready for training camp, hopefully here starting next month?
Oh, man, I'm to be honest, I feel like it's a very exciting time for us, especially as a whole team, but as the defense. I feel like our expectation is very high, not just from the outside, but just for ourselves. We feel like if we don't put ourselves in a position to be able to compete for a championship, it's a failure. And I'm speaking more so for the defense, but it's really coming more from the secondary. I feel like it's a lot of high expectation from us in the back end to really step up and perform, because at the end of the day, games in this league nowadays, the way how the ball game is played is won in the passing game, and we feel like we have to step up as a secondary and do what we have to do in order to help this team to be where we need to be, which we know we could be because we have the talent all around us to exceed expectation from the outside, but to accomplish our expectation that we have upon ourselves.
Hey, Nevin, Evan Groat here. I want to commend you on the work you're doing with your foundation. It's great stuff. I want to talk about training camp here for a minute. When you walk into that cornerback room come training camp time, you're going to be surrounded by a lot of young first and second year guys who lack the experience that you have in the league. When you consider the lack of an off-season program that you guys have had due to the COVID pandemic, the young guys are going to lean on veterans like yourself. Tell us, are you ready to embrace your role as a leader and mentor?
Oh, definitely. And they know that too. They know that if anything they want to ask me or any areas they need help in, they know that I'll be there. It don't matter what it is. Even if we compete for the same spot, I feel like I'm confident in myself that I know whatever I do on the field will speak for itself. So I'll never hold back any information to help my teammate, because at the end of the day, me holding back information to helping my teammate could help us help us to lose a ball game. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to give your teammates as much information and much help, and the better your teammates are around you, the better your team is. So I feel like that's very important for me, especially going on year 7 and what I have seen in this league to make sure I could give that information or help any young guys that need that help. And it's vice versa. Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you have seen it all. You might have some young guys that have seen some things that you haven't seen. So I could piggyback off them and say, oh, wow, how you see that, or how you look at that situation, or whatever it is. So I can learn from them as well.
And we're talking again to Raiders cornerback Nevin Lawson.
Nevin, you mentioned some of the players that were brought in, and there's a lot of talent that has been put on the defensive side of the ball, and for good reason. Obviously, the defense needs to continue to improve. But how competitive? Well, first of all, what are your thoughts on the talent that was brought in around you, and then how competitive do you believe it's going to be in training camp with all these new guys there on the roster?
Man, I feel like we brought in some very competitive, great football players, which I really was excited about when we picked them. I feel like Arnett is going to be a stud, and I feel like Meek he's just a dog. I feel like he's going to be a great player as well. And it's going to be very competitive, man. It's going to be very competitive, which you want for a football team. At the end of the day, if the name of the game, especially if I'm a general manager or a head coach, I want the best players and a very competitive roster. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be very competitive, man. And at the end of the day, man, I feel like the best men that's built for the job will show at the end of the day. And I know it's going to make us a better football team, and it's going to make us a better secondary in the back end.
No doubt, Nevin. And before we let you go, tell me about the virtual workout thing. I mean, it's tough for everybody, but how are you guys? I know you're having lots of meetings on Zoom and all that kind of stuff, but how is that camaraderie, especially with some new guys on board? Are you feeling it yet, or are you guys just itching to get together so you can start working on it in person?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been doing a great job, and that's got to give kudos to our secondary coach, Jim O'Neill, and Coach Tabor. They do a great job of making the meetings very interactive, where we're talking to each other. So it was challenging at first, but as we continue to get going with it, we continue to get better. And I feel like it was great this offseason. I felt like we did pretty well with this whole virtual meetings throughout this whole offseason program. I can't speak for any other team, but I know for us as Raiders, especially in secondary, I feel like we had very productive meetings, and I feel like the learning went well for not just the veteran guys, but even for the new guys that's coming on board.
That's great to know, man. And we can't wait to get you back out here to Las Vegas. I know, again, it's going to be fun. The stadium is almost done. That your new home, your new facility is almost done. It's going to be a blast, man. And I know it's going to be fun watching you out there. And, again, want to thank you for all you're doing in your community. And we look forward to getting you back out on the football field here real soon.
Thank you, guys, man. I appreciate it. And once again, baby, go Raiders.
There you go. All right. That was Raiders cornerback Nevin Lawson. Good fun, good guy, doing great work, and really understands what it's all about. All right.
CBS Sports Radio. This is Silver and Black Today, live on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Welcome back to Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140 in Las Vegas. And now we're joined, happy to talk to Mr. Maxx Crosby. Max, how you holding up during this isolation stuff, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I saw you're running hills in Cali or something, right? You're working out?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've been training out here in L.A. For a few weeks now. So, yeah, I've been staying in shape and getting after it.
That's good, man. I always love following you on social. Always a good time, and fun to see you doing that and keeping on top of your game. Now, the romance. There's this romance between Raider Nation and Maxx Crosby, right? It started early It started early, I think, because people got to know you quick on Hard Knocks. They got to see what a beast you were on the field, the dedication to hard work, your high motor, kind of that unyielding work ethic. Could there have been a better fit for you in the NFL draft than to join the Raiders and John Gruden's team?
No, not at all. I think I was born to be a Raider. I love it. I love every part of the organization. I think my mentality and everything just fits in perfect with what we're trying to do there. So I love playing, for the Raiders, and the fan base is insane. And they embraced me from the second I got there. And I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's fun to watch. They do love you, and I know that they appreciate what you're doing on the field and off the field as well. Now, Max, when we look at your rookie season, this is a question I asked your teammate Alec Ingold and some of the guys who came in last year, is what's the kind of biggest lesson you took away from year one in the NFL?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me, I feel like was just finishing. We were in so many close games, and we couldn't, we couldn't finish in a lot of important games. We easily could have been in the playoffs last year. There was, Jacksonville game and, a bunch of others that we definitely could have won. And that's the main thing, I feel like as a team we got to focus on is just playing every single play like it's, the most important play of your life. Can't take any plays off. We're trying to go to a place where not many teams can go, and we can't do that by blowing games at the end, So we just got to focus. We got to hone in. I think our free agency class is insane. I'm really excited to, meet all those guys and get to work with them. And then, obviously the draft is coming as well. So, I think we're going to load up and get as many guys in here that love the game of football. And I think it's going to be something special.
Yeah, and Max, the thing is, you talk about that free agency class that's come in. You really, Mayock and Coach Gruden did an amazing job of filling a lot of holes there for you, because end of last year, you're right, you guys played so well, especially through that gauntlet of travel where you were road warriors. And then towards the end, you had injuries, you had the suspensions, Devontae, you had all these things happen, and that just wears on you. You have to have depth. You have to have the ability to go to that next man if you need to. Talk about that. Now you're going to have those linebackers behind you. You guys continue to get better up front. What excites you most about what you see? I mean, like you said, you haven't met the guys yet, but when you look at how this team's coming together, what's most exciting about that for you?
Yeah, it's crazy. We improved on every single level, defensively. We got some new guys on the back end. We got two really good linebackers. Obviously we have Carl Nassib now as well. We got Malik Collins. We got some more guys too. So, they did everything they can to, just add depth and add talent to, our defense. And then you look at it offensively, adding a guy like Jason Witten, a freaking Hall of Famer, first ballot, to be in the locker room, having a guy like that's going to be super important. Marcus Mariota backing up Derek Carr. It goes on and on. There's so many players that I think are going to contribute right away, and it's just awesome, to see. And obviously, having depth is everything. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get tired. It's the NFL. It's a long season, and it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So we're going to have a lot of guys that are ready to come in and make a difference. So I'm fired up. I think I've reached out to almost every single guy we've signed. So, everyone's fired up. It's going to be awesome. We're in a different place now in Las Vegas. I think it's going to be something special.
Again, we're talking to Raiders rookie sensation. Now he's in his sophomore year. Maxx Crosby, defensive end.
Hey, Max, it's Chaz. You do such an incredible job of being disruptive on the field. I'm wondering, what things did the coaches want you to work on this offseason to take your game to the next level?
They didn't necessarily say one thing that I need to improve on. For me, I know what I need to improve on. I need to get stronger. I need to get faster. I need, my IQ's got to get up even higher. Just every little thing. I got to just keep fine-tuning every little part of my game. So that's what I've been working on, just getting right mentally and physically, and just being ready, being as disruptive as I possibly can, and just being a being a game wrecker. You know, I try to wreck every single game, and that's what I plan on doing, you know, for a long time.
Max, and that's the thing too. You look at, and I know you guys don't pay much attention to this. You're too busy working out and getting ready and all that stuff. But the Raiders still being overlooked. I think that that's a mistake, because I think you guys have put together a roster that's going to make a nice run this year. But what is it about this team and what you see together and the guys that are coming back? You talked about some of your teammates, including Derek Carr. What is it about the cohesiveness of this group and of the rookie class last year that makes the team so close? That gives you that confidence that with extra talent, you guys are going to make that next step?
Yeah, everybody loves the game of football. We're all trying to win, right now. It's not like, a lot of people think, it's going to take a few years and blah, blah, blah. But for us, we're trying to win right now. So we're doing everything we can to make that happen. We have guys that love the game. We have guys that have enough talent, and we just got to put the pieces together and go make it happen. Last year we easily could have been 10-6. If you really look at it, we could have been 11-5. But now we're focused on now. That's all we have. It's 0-0. Everyone's at the same level, and we just got to go out there and prove every single game that we're someone that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. So we're all fired up. We're all super close, as a team, and we're just going to go out there and try to do our thing every single day.
Well, Max, I believe that. I think it's going to be an exciting year. Once we get all this virus stuff worked out and you guys can get back on the field, it's going to be exciting. I look forward to meeting you in person here in Las Vegas, and certainly appreciate your time today. I know we had an abbreviated time, but that's okay. We'll catch up with you on down the road. Stay healthy, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right. There you go. Maxx Crosby, Maxx Crosby, of course, defensive end for the Raiders, joining us here on the Silver and Black today. All right, Raider Nation, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Best of Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. We'll be back next week, full strength, folks. 2-hour show is back. Summer hours are over. We're ready to talk Raiders football. Join me, Scott Gulbransen, your boy Q, Chaz Osborne, Evan Groat. As we come back strong, Raiders linebacker Nick Kwiatkoski will join us. He signed with the Raiders this year after spending the previous couple of years with the Bears, a huge addition for that defense. Also, Tashan Reed, the beat writer of The Athletic Las Vegas, covering the Raiders. He'll be with us to talk about training camp, and we're going to have a couple other surprises, so make sure you pay attention to our social media channels, and of course, silverandblacktoday.com, where we'll update you on next week's episode. For the entire team here, including our producer, Mark Bonilla, I am Scott Gulbransen. Take care, Raider Nation, and may the autumn wind always be at your back.